Lightyear. Lightyear gets banned? Tell me it isn't so! Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. On today's show, guys, Thor Love and Thunder character posters have been released, Squid Game Season 2 is in the works, John Woo is back with a new action movie that has no dialogue. Very interesting. We get our first look at Optimus Primal. The weekend box office report is on today's show because, well, Jurassic World Dominion opened huge. But we start our stories today talking about Lightyear getting banned. What? Lightyear? Pixar's Lightyear banned in, well, Saudi Arabia over same-sex kiss. Oh. Guys. But you know what? I don't think this will affect the box office. Not at all. It's not going to be a huge issue. But I saw this headline and I just kind of like, because this happened with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And just recently with Jurassic World Dominion, which I don't think, it hasn't affected their box offices. And we'll see that later on in the show. But, you know, they're saying over same-sex kiss. Now, I was watching the trailers for this, so unless it's like in a background character or something like that, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. People over there, they're not very LGBTQ friendly people, so I don't think it'll affect the box office whatsoever. But once I saw that headline, I'm like, guys, come on. It's not a huge issue, but you know, eventually, someday, that part of the world will catch up with us. But when it happened with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, they said the new character, America Chavez, was supposed to be like that, but it never came up, oddly enough. We saw that her parents were, but apparently her character, too, is supposed to be like that, and it never came up, because you know what? The story didn't call for that. Same with Jurassic World Dominion. You saw that the pilot was supposed to be like that, and hey, oddly enough, they didn't stop fighting dinosaurs for her to say, oh, by the way, Chris Pratt, this is a good point for me to bring up my preferences. It didn't come up. So it's kind of like, I don't see what the issue was. But apparently, I guess if they're going to have there's going to be a kissing scene, then perhaps that's why it's banned over there. But it's not going to be banned here because I think Lightyear will open up huge at the box office. I like the trailers. The early buzz for Lightyear it's been good. Like a lot of the advanced critics screenings and reactions have been positive. So I have no doubt that when Lightyear opens up this weekend in the box office, it's going to probably rival, if not beat, Jurassic World Dominion. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, where we'll be talking about all of these topics today. If you join us in the live chat, I'll talk with you guys in between the stories. If not, hey, all of these will be linked in time codes for you guys in the description below. Let's just get on with it because I don't want to go on with like 5 minutes of opening spiel before we get into our topics. It's Monday, so you know what time that is? It's time for the weekend box office report. Okay, let's go over to Box Office Mojo, and this is the numbers for June 10th to the 12th, 2022. The top 5 rank are: number 1 was Jurassic World Dominion. Number 2 was Top Gun Maverick. Number 3 was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Number 4 was the Bob's Burgers movie. And number 5 was The Bad Guys. Yes, The Bad Guys is hanging in there, but I think once Lightyear comes out next week, or this week, I suppose, everything will get shifted down a number because Jurassic World Dominion opened up 143.3 domestically for the number 1 spot, which was higher than the 125 projections that we had there on Friday. But that's good. That's good. So let's go in and take a look at the Jurassic World Dominion numbers. And then I'll let you know what I think is going to happen with Lightyear when it opens up. So domestically, 143.3. Internationally, 245.7. So worldwide, 389 million. So I think that's going to be good, and it's going to put it on track to make $1 billion. I think, despite some of the negative reviews out there, including my own, Jurassic World Dominion will easily crack the $1 billion. Now, I don't think it's going to make much more than that. I'm guessing maybe 1.1 billion. Yeah. If it does, I think it'll just barely get there. But it's good success, and we see from the early reactions, the tomato meter here as of Monday at 12 p.m. on Monday, 30% still. So that dropped a little bit. It was at 33% by the critics, 79% by the audience scores. And I'm on the side of the critics here, guys. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. And I felt like I was being generous. Very generous. The audience score has come down a bit. It was in the 80s, I think, on Friday. But now that people have seen it and the word of mouth is getting out there that it's a bit long, the kids may not have repeat viewings, but apparently a lot of people are still liking it, regardless of all those facts. They're still enjoying it, which is okay, good. Hey, if I didn't like it, but you guys did, that's fine with me. As I said in my reviews for it, it's not one where I would put it on the worst movies of the year list. It's not going to end up on that. It's just going to be a little bit on the more disappointing side. I was having higher hopes for it to wrap up with a cool bang, and it didn't. But I put my spoiler review out there and everything like that. And we saw that a lot of the international numbers that Jurassic World Dominion is opened up in China, so it's got a 53 million start there. So it's not going to have those issues of, well, maybe it will have from Saudi Arabia, but you don't need those numbers exactly to make $1 billion. And you may not even need China box office numbers to make $1 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home proved that last year. So going back to the Jurassic World Dominion numbers, it's good. Come on, for the opening weekend, 389 million worldwide. It's going to have some length and some longevity to it for a couple weeks here that'll probably push it over the $1 billion mark. And if it doesn't, like if it nosedives, let's take a look at the outlook. If it completely nosedives, then yeah, obviously won't make the $1 billion. But we saw the 79% by the audience score, so I think a lot of people out there are going to pretty much enjoy it, and it will make $1 billion. Christopher Schober says in the live chat, do you think when the Halloween Ends movie might be the last movie, and when do you think we might get a Halloween Ends teaser? We'll talk about that in a few moments, and yeah, for sure, it definitely doesn't look like it's going to be the last one in that iteration. We'll clarify that in a few moments. Let's just wrap up the box office reports here. So just at a glance there, yeah, Jurassic World Dominion, unless it completely nosedives by the fans, which it sounds like it's not going to, it'll make $1 billion. Top Gun Maverick made $50 million this weekend. Top Gun right now is still it's the best movie on this list right now. So let's just take a look at those numbers at a glance. Top Gun Maverick, yeah, so it's 747 worldwide now, and they can't not be happy with that. That's great, and that's fantastic. But it doesn't sound like there's going to be a Top Gun 3, so it's a good reprieve for them, and I'm so happy for Tom Cruise. 747, I think it's probably going to cap out maybe 800 million, 810, because it's just great. It's got that good word of mouth that it's a great movie. Doctor Strange, 930 worldwide. So that's coming out on Blu-ray and 4K there in like June 22nd, right? So we saw the steelbook for that on the weekend, and I think, yeah, that's going to cap out around 950 million worldwide. And guys, that's pretty much what you need to know from this weekend's box office report. As I said, once Lightyear opens up this weekend, everything will probably, if Jurassic World has a 50% drop, that'll be around 70 million. Can Lightyear make 70 million at the opening box office? I think it can. It's got good word of mouth. It's Pixar. All the kids will want to go out and see it. Some kids are out of school already in some places. Some go to the end of June. But I think Lightyear may unseat Jurassic World Dominion at the box office. So Jurassic World Dominion will only have this 1 week maybe. Maybe. If Lightyear doesn't make 70 million. And if Jurassic World doesn't drop below 50%, but most movies do. Most movies do. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get to that Halloween End story in just a moment. But first, we got to talk about Optimus Primal. You know that they're making those, a new Transformers movie called Rise of the Beasts. Now, this movie was supposed to come out this year, actually. and it's being directed by the guy who did Creed 2. Now, Transformers Rise of the Beasts was slated for June 2020. It was announced in June 2021, and it was supposed to come out June 24th this year, but it was delayed until June 9th, 2023. So it's a whole year away from us. Rise of the Beasts. And so the movie will feature classic characters Beast Wars incarnation of the Transformers, including Maximals and Predacons and Terrorcons. But oddly enough, did you know that Ron Perlman is going to be doing Optimus Primal, the voice of Optimus Primal? And that's interesting. But Bumblebee is going to be in it, because from what I understand of the premise is that the Transformers start off in present time, so we'll see this version of Bumblebee, but then they open up a portal or something and go back in time, and then they take on the primal forms, and that'll be this iteration of Transformers. So we got some artwork, and our first look at it from like a toy box of some kind, and this was delivered to us by AllSpark. Now, let's just take a look. I'll blow that up here a little bit. Looks like it's from an international toy. Looks like it's, I think that's Russian. I don't know. Because of the backwards K's or something like that. I don't know. But it looks like Bumblebee's going to be still familiar to us. And it looks like, well, okay, so this is Optimus Primal. We can see the fur on him and stuff like that. And as our sort of first look, I got no problem with that. Okay. It'll look better when it's in live action. But if it's going to be voiced by, it's not going to be voiced by Peter Cullen. It's going to be voiced by Ron Perlman, Hellboy himself. Hey, cool. And I think, the that version of the Transformers, with them going back in time and taking on the beast mode, has a huge following in the Transformers lore, and hopefully that'll be enough to bring in some good box office. As it's Transformers, so it's you're going to get the kids in there, and I'm hoping that I think it is still produced by Michael Bay. Hopefully he doesn't still have his hands all over it, because he said he wasn't going to do that anymore. I don't think it is. Maybe I got that wrong. I think this one may be separately all free from him, which will be good, even though that a lot of people still like it. Yeah, Stephen Capel Jr., Creed 2, is directing this. So it has Anthony Ramos, Dominique Fishback in the lead roles. So yeah, and I think it will be like Optimus Prime. We'll see him in the Peter Cullen version at the beginning of the film, but then they'll go into the Beasts. They'll go back in time, and then it'll be Rise of the Beasts. So that's just our first look, guys. What do you guys think about that? Is that what you expected? Do you like it, or is it not Beast mode enough? We'll have to see how this plays out. We still got a year to go, guys, for that movie. I'm sure we'll get more looks around the Christmas time, but I just thought it was an interesting first look. All right, so let's talk about Halloween Ends. Just to clarify, Halloween Ends. Let's talk about it right now. Is Halloween Ends the last Michael Myers movie? Blumhouse responds. So Blumhouse himself is talking about this, because we know this is coming out in October, guys. And it's already all in the can. They've shot the entire movie. So Blum CEO talks about what's going on here. And I think this will give a lot of clarity for a lot of people, because this new reboot or requel or whatever picks up straight after this first movie. So it ignores Halloween 2 and 4 and 5, that lore. It ignores the H2O and those. So it had like 3 different versions of timelines going on. And this is the new timeline. This is apparently going to end with Halloween Ends, oddly enough. But let's take a look at this quote from Blumhouse, and it'll give us a little bit more clarity. So Exclusive asked him, quote, "I didn't say it's going to be the last Halloween movie, so it may not be the last Halloween movie, but it's our last Halloween movie. We have no more rights to make any more Halloween. So it goes back to Malik Akkad, and he does, only he knows what he does, only he knows, right? But we're done, Blumhouse says. We are done with the Halloween franchise. This is our last one, and I think people will be very happy. So Halloween Ends will finish off this trilogy, this new timeline of movies with Michael. And I was under the impression from the reactions of a lot of fans of the franchise, they wanted to continue on with this version of Michael. But I think it's going to end probably with Laurie and Michael killing each other in some way, sort of like the Northman style. You know, how they both kind of had killing blows on each other. I think that's the way it's going to happen. But we got our answer there. It looks like they've only had the rights for 3 films, and then it goes back to Malik Akkad, and Blumhouse says, what he does, only he knows. So unless it makes a lot of money, which, you know, this version of Halloween movies have been making good money, unless they go back and buy another license from him, it doesn't sound like we're going to get any more from this Halloween. So he makes it sound like it's definitive, our last Halloween movie. Maybe Blumhouse doesn't have any more ideas to continue it on. Maybe they've got this iterations of stories of Michael Myers movies they wanted to make. They made them. It looks like it's going to end with Halloween Ends, this storyline. And I know that'll come at the dismay of some people. August 14th is when this movie comes out. When do I think we're going to get a teaser for it? Where are we at? We're in June, July, August, September. I think probably by July. Yeah, mid-July maybe. It'll give enough time to ramp up marketing. If not, for sure, end of July, early August, I think they'll start ramping it up. Because I don't know if they'll bother with the full slate of teaser and then trailer 1 and then final trailer. I don't know if they'll do that. They could. They may. But we'll always do trailer reactions for it when it comes out on the channel, guys, because I am a big fan of the Halloween movies. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Okay. So, what's up next? Happy Death Day to you. Keeping with Blumhouse. Happy Death Day 3 update given by Blumhouse lead. So, I guess, Jason Blum is a very busy man. Now, I was a big fan of the Happy Death Day movies. I like the first 2. Who is the main actress in that? Not Christopher Landon. He directed both of them. Jessica Roth. Yeah, she was good. And I liked the little time travel loop kind of stuff. It was kind of like the horror version of Groundhog Day. So I like the grand scope of what they were trying to reach for in the second one. So if they ever made a third one with Blumhouse and Landon here, I'll be up for it. So let's see what they were talking about. Let's see if they got some quotes here. So the 2 of them sat down for a lunch where Blumhouse said, where they were talking, he says, I'm glad you did, because guess who I had a lunch with yesterday? Mr. Christopher Landon. And guess what we discussed? Happy Death Day 3. We discussed it. I'm not saying we're doing it, but we discussed it. It was very much on the top of our minds. I'm not saying we're doing it, but I'm saying we're not doing it. I'm not saying we're not doing it. So, well, that's very vague. Okay, so they basically talked about it, right? You're at a lunch and you're like, well, hey, these first 2 movies were sort of profitable. Do you have thoughts for a new one? I'm sure that's it. Because Christopher Landon here, the director, I'm sure he's going to write the script for it. And that's probably what they were talking about. Do you have a treatment? Do you have an idea as where to go? Because Christopher Landon here, he's going to be busy here in doing an arachnophobia remake for Amblin. So he'll have that. And then perhaps, I'm sure they were talking about the schedule and stuff, like his schedule. So I'm sure that unless they get the green light to do Happy Death Day 3 before Arachnophobia, because he's still writing the script, I think, for this Arachnophobia reboot. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Maybe Happy Death Day 3 will happen after Arachnophobia reboot, but it's out there. It's possible. And I had a lot of fun with the first two movies, guys. What do you think? Should they greenlight that? Should they fast track it? Happy Death Day 3. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and we will talk about it. John Woo is back in the headlines. He's making another action movie, and that's great for me because I do like John Woo's movies. I do like his earlier Hong Kong stuff, and I do like his newer stuff. I like. Who could not like Face Off, right? And John Woo's dialogue-free revenge movie Silent Night is pretty damn epic, says star Joel Kinnaman. Dialogue-free, though. There's not going to be an ounce of dialogue in this action movie. So Joel Kinnaman and Kid Cudi star in this movie. And we just saw Kid Cudi in X. He was one of the performers. And he was really good in X. And what made him good was his ability to speak, his voice, his dialogue. But apparently if there's not going to be any dialogue in this movie, in this revenge movie called Silent Night, let's see if we can get any more information from this article up on MovieWeb. Well, you know Joel Kinnaman. He was in the Suicide Squad, both movies, and he was the RoboCop. He was in the RoboCop reboot. And I really liked him in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I thought I was rooting for him, actually. So, yeah. So, anyway, let's take a look at some of the quote here. This one where he just says, pretty epic. I've never worked with a director. I mean, maybe Jonathan Demme, who did a bunch of episodes of The Killing. He was up there, but I never worked with anyone that tells so much story just by how he moves the camera. And it was fascinating to see. He tells the story in the way he puts the camera. He knows how to move it. And we know that. We know that John Woo is really big into the stunt work and the action. Just thinking about some of the stuff like The Killer, Broken Arrow. Yeah, the action in that was top notch. It got a little bit cheesy in Face Off, I'll give you that. But hopefully nowadays, they can actually put the actors' faces on the stunt people. But John Woo definitely knows how to film action. Even if it's somebody punching a snake, just like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay? So let's see. Let's see what some of the challenges were. Kinnaman also says it was the perfect kind of script to try this sort of cinematic experiment. It's a very dynamic action movie with a lot of heavy drama, but the actual plot is pretty simple. Well, it's a revenge story, right? And I think you really want that in a film where you don't have any dialogue to explain to the viewers what is happening. So if there's no dialogue, you won't even know, even the bad guys won't be talking. So what would happen in this exactly? So I think it's going to be pretty easy to follow, and hopefully you'll get all the emotion just through the eyes and through the action. I hope it's going to be pretty damn epic, and that's what I feel like when we shot it. So yeah, because you're not going to be able to explain the situation. You're not going to be able to tell who the good guy and who the bad guy are, although it sounds like Kinnaman's the good guy. If it's a revenge flick, I'm guessing it's going to be like he's going to go to a warehouse, the bad guy's warehouse or something like that, and it's just going to be like a chase movie. Him chasing the bad guys to get his revenge. And I think that's the only way they can do it, because they're not going to have that kind of huffing and puffing from the bad guy saying, you can't come in here, you can't do this. Now, maybe I got that wrong. It says no dialogue, but maybe the bad guys will be talking, but his character won't be talking, just like they did with Nicolas Cage in that movie last year. What was it? Willy's Wonderland, where Nicolas Cage didn't speak an ounce of dialogue in that movie. Maybe they're just referring it to him. But it says an action movie with zero dialogue, so maybe it's the bad guys too. So it's just kind of straightforward chase, revenge. What do you guys think about that? John Woo coming back to make a dialogue-free movie. Let me know in the comments below. Just to clarify, do they tell me a release date here? No. Silent Night has not yet been given a release date. So when that comes out, if it it's going to be on a streaming service or if it's going to get a theatrical release. I'll let you guys know as I find out more. But it's John Woo, so I felt like it was worth talking about there. Let's continue on. Hulk Hogan biopic movie. Talking about Chris Hemsworth. We're going to see some new character posters for Thor: Love and Thunder in a few moments. But let's take a look at Chris Hemsworth and an update on the Hulk Hogan biopic. Now, we saw the early images for Thor: Love and Thunder where his arms just exploded. And everybody thought, well, he must be preparing for his role for Hulk Hogan, because we know that was coming down the pipe. Chris Hemsworth is going to be very busy this year. He's got Thor. He's got the Netflix movie coming out soon called Spiderhead. He plays kind of like the villainous bad guy in that. He's also got Extraction 2 for Netflix. So he'll be very busy. So he's got a quote here to help clarify this a little bit. The film's a while away. That's sort of in the development stage, and if that comes to fruition, great. Director Todd Phillips is brilliant. Of course he is, because he just made the Joker, and he's been given more creative control over there at the DCEU movie universe, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But he continues, haven't ripped off any shirts yet, but you'll be the first to hear about it when I do. So I thought this was going to go right into production after Thor: Love and Thunder, but by the sounds of it, it sounds like they're still a little bit off from making this Hulk Hogan biopic with Todd Phillips. And if it's Todd Phillips is going to be directing this biopic, they would... Well, Todd Phillips just announced on his social media on Friday and over the last week that he's got a Joker 2 script in the works. And if he has more control and creative say over there in DC movie universe, that may go into production before this Hulk Hogan film. So this, by the sounds of it, for me at least, that this Hulk Hogan movie may get pushed down the road a little bit, which is kind of a bummer because I was looking forward to it. The movie will likely feature portrayals of other legends in the sports, including Roddy Piper, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage. Yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing this movie, and hopefully it would have gone into the darker grittiness of them and those that got into the roids, the darker side of things, like with the Ultimate Warrior there. Because that was a kind of a tragic story too. And I hope they wouldn't pull any punches when they came to that story. And Hemsworth I think he's a good casting for it, but by the sounds of it, it sounds like it's got pushed down the road a little bit. We'll have to see how that plays out. Todd Phillips, Joker was a great movie. If he's helming it, good. Hemsworth was on it, good. Christopher Schober says in the live chat, do you think that they might make prequel for Blumhouse Christine? I don't know. Maybe. I know that they should make a Christine reboot, but I don't know how that'll work if they'll make it more like technological instead of evil spirit. We'll have to see how that plays out. I'll keep my eye out for that for sure. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that name because I don't know the language. Something Pomo. Have you seen any Bollywood or Indian movies? Yes, in fact, I do have an Indian channel. It's Mirror Domains India. I watched Bahubali is over there, the full reaction. It's a little bit dated now, but that channel got slowed down a little bit because for some reason I reacted to the trailer of Dakad, the new movie with Kangana Ranaut, and for some reason the studio striked the channel, so I had to put a pause on that. But when that comes out, once that release gets from the channel, I'm going to do a live stream for RRR. And hopefully I can track down the Telugu version of it. I don't want to react to the Hindi version of it because I hear that the dubbing for it is not the greatest. So as soon as I can get a Telugu version of RRR, the original language, I want to do a full movie reaction over there on Mirror Domains India. For that, for sure. And I do want to do KGF Chapter 2 as well. I probably need to do KGF Chapter 1 as well. But yes, I have watched Bollywood movies for sure. And as long as they're playing in the theaters where I live, I go out and check them out too. I saw Saho in the theater. Prabhas, can't get much bigger than that. All right, where are we at? Charlize Theron. Cameos. Let's talk about Charlize. I love Charlize. She's one of my favorite actresses out there for sure. Charlize Theron reveals how she ended up in Doctor Strange 2 cameo and The Boys. Oh, I didn't know that she was in The Boys. So this article over on Variety talks about she goes in and talks about her role in Fast 10 and coming back as Cypher. But she also talks about Old Guard. We saw the news on Friday that Old Guard 2 is coming out, and who has just joined onto the cast? Uma Thurman is coming on to Old Guard 2. And Henry Golding, the guy from the Snake Eyes movie. So there's a good read over there on Variety, but I wanted to take a look more at the cameos for The Boys and Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange, let's take a look at this one first. Seth Rogen, The Boys executive producer. So this opened my eyes to see that Seth Rogen was executive producing The Boys, which means he's putting in the money for it, guys. So he says, Seth Rogen asked her a while back, and I will lay my body over broken glass for that guy, because they made that movie The Long Shot, and they had some good chemistry in that. So they're fans of each other. So Seth Rogen asked her to be in a small cameo for The Boys, which I haven't seen yet. I know the big scene out there, guys. I know the big phallus exploding scene. I know that scene. It would be kind of hard not to, with everybody doing their reactions to it. So, yeah. So if she's in The Boys, the case is building out there for me to go out and try to find a copy of The Boys and start watching it. But I'll get to it eventually, hopefully. So that's why. So she's in The Boys because she's friends with Seth Rogen, executive producer. Why did she go and do that post-credit scene for Doctor Strange 2? Kevin Feige called to offer the mid-credit scene, a role that indicates a lengthy future in the MCU. And she said, well, why not? I was very transparent, and they were just like, this is great. Of course. And when Feige calls, for sure. And my understanding is that her character for Doctor Strange, the cameo there, is that she'll eventually become a love interest for Doctor Strange. So that's cool. Can't go wrong with Charlize. She's, even in like Fast 10, the Fast and Furious franchise, which she does talk about in here, guys. So if you want to see that stuff, or go read that stuff, go over on Variety, read this article, because it's really good. It's an interesting read. She's always good for a quote, a soundbite, or a read. Charlize Theron, right? What do you guys think about that? Cool news, huh? My name is in Russian. Okay. Pomo says. Doctor Strange 2 is garbage. Oh, so you didn't like Doctor Strange 2. It was mixed, I think. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was the best MCU. See, because I was a big fan of WandaVision. And I was hoping that Wanda would become the big next hero of this phase of Phase 4. But they kind of Khaleesi'd her. They made her the bad guy. And I don't know if I really like that. Khaleesi was from Game of Thrones. If you know what they did with her character, you know what I'm talking about. Christopher Schober says in the live chat, do you think that Obi-Wan Kenobi will get a season 2? Good question. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan in just a few moments. We'll have to see. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. Let's just get through this Squid Game story quickly, and then we'll get to that Obi-Wan story. Squid Game Season 2 greenlit by Netflix. Well, that's a no-brainer. I mean, come on. Creator Hwang Dong-hyuk teases returning and new characters. Well, of course you have to do new characters, because everybody you see here in the green costumes, well, they get killed. That's just the way that it's supposed to happen, right? But anyway, the creator has come out and given us a social media posting, a letter for Season 2, and this is up on Deadline. So if you want to read this, guys, go over there and check it out. But I'll read it to you here. On the card, it says, a whole new round is coming. It took 12 years. Wow. To bring the first season of Squid Game to life last year, but it took 12 days for Squid Game to become the most popular Netflix series. Most popular. Well, it's popular, but I'm pretty sure that Stranger Things is giving a run for its money. As the writer, director, and producer of Squid Game, a huge shout out to the fans around the world. Thank you for watching and loving our show. And now Gi-hun returns. The front man returns. Season 2 is coming. The man in the suit with Daki might come back. So the guy who was in Train to Busan, the guy who was recruiting everybody. Yeah. And you will also be introduced to Young Yee's boyfriend, Chul Soo. So come once more for a whole new round. Cool. Well, we know that they were working on the script, so it sounds like, it was a no-brainer that it was going to get greenlit. I hope they fast-track it. Once all the scripts get done, I hope they fast-track it. I was hoping for Season 2 of Squid Game out by next year, but if it's still in production, guys, and it took 12 years for the first season, I don't want to wait 12 years for Season 2. They'll get to work on that. Maybe late 2023, early 2024 is when we'll get Squid Game Season 2. But I hope they do it with having Season 3 already mapped out. I hope they do that. Because if it was a huge success, a great story. And if you know what, come on, Episode 6, it hit everybody in all the fields. Squid Game Season 2, guys, are you looking forward to it? Let me know in the comments below. Homo says there in the live chat, I enjoyed Morbius more than Doctor Strange 2. Nice. I didn't hate Morbius. I just, it was just kind of like, but I don't fault people for liking Morbius. I mean, come on. Despite people saying that it wasn't a very good movie, and I said that it kind of let me down in some places, but hey, if it's having that resurgence over the last couple of weekends of if people are not going to watch it, but they're still talking about Morbius. They want Morbius in their lives. Also, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I have yet to see, but I know that it's out on streaming now, so I will be seeing it hopefully in the next week or so. I may even do a live watch along with that one. I'll have to see if I can get my hands on a copy of that. Okay, so let's get into this Obi-Wan story. Obi-Wan star Hayden Christensen explores his latest Darth Vader incarnation and talks Anakin's much memed sand feelings. Yeah. Now, guys, I'm a big fan of watching reactors react to the movies, right? Like the first time reactors. And the younger people out there who are like in their young 20s and such, when they watch Episode 2, a lot of them they don't, unless they know about the sand meme, they don't even mention it. They just kind of go, like, and they're more curious about Anakin's story than the memes. It's only the older generations of people like me and that knew about the meme at the beginning. But even with me, I watch it and I'm like, I don't care about that. But this big article over on Hollywood Reporter talks about Hayden Christensen talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi and the costume and stuff. So it's a really also good read. I recommend that you go check it out. He talks about going back and watching the prequels to get his mind set back into playing Anakin. Now, we've only seen him in the suit, and we've seen him with in the Bacta tank. But we haven't seen any flashbacks yet for in Obi-Wan. But they talk about the costume, how much it weighs and stuff like that. And is it more comfortable than the suit for Revenge of the Sith? Stuntmen do come in and wear the suit at times within the Obi-Wan series because it's just a little bit too heavy, I suppose, to do some of the stunts that he has to do. And we do see him. He did have that little brief showdown with Obi-Wan. So I'm guessing hopefully in the last 2 episodes, we'll get one more match with them, with Obi-Wan and Vader. But he talks about this at quite length in this article. He says that if he's ever spoke to George Lucas about this return, he says, no, I haven't yet. But I think we're all looking forward to how this will wrap up. And just talking about the memes, just clarify that because it's kind of like the top of it here. He says, I think it's funny people have taken such an interest in that line. Some of the dialogue is different from what you're maybe expecting, but I never had any issues with that line. I understood Anakin's feelings towards Sand, but maybe it was a bit of an odd time to bring it up. As he's flirting with the girl he has so much affection for, but he's Anakin. Well, that's something that I felt like the prequels did a really good job of, is explaining. Well, that kind of went over like people's radar here, is that he's not a normal dude. He didn't go out and hone his game, right? Because the Jedi were not supposed to do that, so they don't know how to talk to girls. They gave him the only one I had an issue with was when he gave her that kind of weird look when she was packing up the clothes. But I understood that angle when I was watching it. So and as I said, the newer generations of people that are watching it, that Sand meme, they don't really care about it. But it is what it is. He acknowledges it. He has fun with it. I don't think it really detracts from the cool. Like, I like episode 2 because it has some cool things that happen in it. Like, I like the arena battle sequence. I like the Coruscant chase sequence. For those kinds of things. That's why I like it. But talking about Obi-Wan series here, guys, let's continue on with that by talking about some of the Jedis that got misplaced there in they were in the bottom of that base there on, what was it, Newer? It was the water planet where the Inquisitors are. Now, as I said on Friday, I said I couldn't believe that it wasn't until I was done watching the show that I realized that a lot of the people out there hated the episode. I said in my full reaction of Obi-Wan episode 4, that's up on the channel now. You'll see it. The interrogation scene is not good. It's not a good scene. I agree with that the dialogue was not the greatest and the delivery wasn't the greatest, but I didn't feel like it warranted something to say that it was like the worst thing ever. People complained about the running time too, and I have no problem with short shows. Trust me, when you do full live watch-alongs, especially when things are like an hour and a half, you got to sit here. I'm not going to bore you with that kind of detail, but I do appreciate shorter episodes every now and then, and Obi-Wan episode 4 was a little bit shorter. I had no problem with that, but this is an article that's up on Screen Rant talking about some of the Jedi that were in the bottom of the castle, and I just wanted to once again say I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I thought the settings were great, and I guess that's a shot from Clone Wars, I think. That was just picking up storylines, threads left over from Clone Wars. So I thought fans would enjoy seeing that stuff. And I think that once episode 5 and 6 come out and we see it as a full, block of content, then it'll have more appreciation. I also heard that they're releasing Obi-Wan in theaters in some countries as a full movie, kind of like a full 3.5 hour movie, which would be cool. I would love to see it like that. And from the reactions I hear about that, it has a much better impact. People come out with saying that, that was cool. I want to see it like that. But guys, Obi-Wan, episodes 5 and 6. Episode 5 will be out this Wednesday, and then it wraps up next week. And to answer the question, do I think that there will be an Obi-Wan season 2? Well, I think there could be. I don't know if it's going to be a season 2, but I would I would say that perhaps it would leave it open to maybe make a movie of Obi-Wan. Hopefully that would be cool. But we know that there's going to be the Taika Waititi movie coming out that's supposed to be shooting this fall and being out next Christmas, which I don't see as happening. And then there's that Kevin Feige movie that's coming down the works. And then we got the Rogue Squadron with Patty Jenkins that is kind of like 3 years away now. We'll have to see how all that plays out. But I would love to see an Obi-Wan, because Ewan loves playing it. And that's what I said in episode 4. When he's got that lightsaber in the hallway and he's fighting the stormtroopers, he loves to do that stuff. I like watching that stuff. I thought people would like to watch that stuff too, but they were like, that doesn't make sense. Don't worry about those people, guys. If you like Obi-Wan and you're like me, then yes, I want to see a season 2. I do. And if I get any inkling whatsoever, trust me, I'll be talking about it here on the channel Mirror Domains. Wow. This is going to be a long show today, guys. I apologize. Now, there are a few more stories here that are not linked here, but they will be in the description below. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel gets review bombed. Really? I thought a lot of people liked this show. Now, I haven't watched it yet, but and I know that I'm not the core demographic for Miss Marvel, but I'll watch it once it all wraps up so I can binge it just like that, go through it just like that. This is another series that apparently is getting theatrical releases, being all put together as like a big 3-hour movie, and maybe that's the way that I'll want to digest this series, because I'm sure I'm gonna have to know what's going on in this for when Captain Marvel 2, or sorry, The Marvels comes out, because that's a movie, and this, I'm pretty sure, bleeds right into that movie. So I want to make sure that I'm up to date with what's going on in the MCU. Because Loki, so far, I don't see how that ties into the rest of the movie universe. I guess Falcon and Falcon and the Winter Soldier explains how Falcon becomes the next Captain America, but you knew that was going to happen regardless. So I never watched that series. I never watched What If, and I understood what was going on in Doctor Strange 2 with that universe. But it being review bombed, let's go check out the tomato meter. Miss Marvel review bombed. 97%. 84% by the audience. I thought you said this was review bombed. Doesn't sound like it to me, guys. 84%, so that's gone down average a little bit. That doesn't sound like that's a review bomb to me. Review bomb is when it goes down to like 50% by a bunch of twits. Let's take a look at the IMDb score. Okay, so that's 6.2. But you know, IMDb is a little bit looser in its restrictions for people to vote. Same with Metacritic. They're not as strict now as Rotten Tomatoes. So this call here of it being review bombed, I don't know if that holds much water. But from what I heard, I've heard mixed. I've heard mixed on Miss Marvel. The people I've heard out there, some people like it, and then a few people do take it down that misogynistic hate road, which I have no interest in participating in. So when I watch it, I'll give it a fair shake for sure, but that's the way that I like to roll here on Mirror Domains. So what else is in the headlines? Shazam 2. Director teases new creatures and more action in the DCEU sequel. And of course, we know that it's directed by David F. Sandberg. It comes out this Christmas, guys. Shazam 2. I'm looking forward to it. I hope a teaser drops soon. Hey, when you get headlines like this, that's them ramping up the marketing to maybe in the next week or so. We're going to get a Shazam 2 full trailer or teaser. So Sandberg says in a tweet there, he says it's a much bigger movie, and he's stoked about all the new creatures and action scenes, which he is sure will please superhero movie aficionados. So yeah, cool. And just looking at the slate here, we know that Black Adam comes out October 21st, and I'm hoping that there'll be like a post-credit scene for Shazam in that, because we know that Shazam and Black Adam eventually face off with each other, and then hopefully down the road Black Adam will face Superman, because I'm hoping that to get Cavill back for hopefully a post-credit scene in Shazam Fury of the Gods. That's what I want to see. And then we get Aquaman The Lost Kingdom in March next year with the it doesn't seem like the hashtag boycott Aquaman 2 is having much success because of the Amber Heard fallout. We talked about that on Friday. I'll still watch Aquaman 2. Uh, uh, yeah. But I'm looking forward to Shazam quite a bit. Quite a bit. Now, there's one more story here that we need to talk about before we go to the old Twitterverse. No Way Home has a new VFX reel out. I guess it has some scenes that were cut from Holland, Maguire, and Garfield. So there were more scenes with Holland and Maguire and Garfield, and that's cool. That's really cool. So they released some pre-visual effects for that in a reel. Now, I'm not going to play it here, but if you want to go check that out, it's up on, I think, MCU's channel. But it's kind of like the pre-visual effects, guys. But as we know, and it was announced on the weekend, that they are going to be re-releasing Spider-Man No Way Home in the theaters September 2nd. September 2nd. Extended cut with new footage. They call it the more fun stuff version. And as I said, Spider-Man No Way Home is probably my favorite movie of last year. I thought it was fantastic. But September 2nd in US and Canada, and more countries to be announced soon. So hopefully they'll get it over there in Europe for you guys out there. Extended version, I'd go see it in the theater again, even though I've seen it multiple times now on home video. Yeah, cool, man. What do you guys think about that? September 2nd, would you go see Spider-Man No Way Home again? Extended cut in the theaters. I'll be keeping that on my radar for sure. And now let's go and take a look at some of those posters, artwork for Thor Love and Thunder on the Twitterverse. Okay, two new posters. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so we got the little Skeletor gore there. Interesting. The IMAX poster. I like that one. And that looks like it's painted too, right? Like the old classic Struzan art kind of poster. An homage to his styles. I like that. Johnny Berchtold and Julia Roberts in Gaslit. It's a series on Stars. Okay. A new poster for Thor. We talked earlier about Chris Hemsworth and his pipes. Talking about him when we were talking about his Hulk Hogan physique. Real 3D. Yeah, that puts us all to shame, eh, guys? Christopher Schober says Scream 6 Ghostface goes to New York News. Okay, I'll take a look for that in just a moment. Here are the character posters for Thor Love and Thunder. I really like that one. That one looks cool. See, that's something that you can put on your wall, right? Oh, that's what I'd like to put on my wall. Maybe right below my Wonder Woman poster. Yes, I have a Wonder Woman poster. Because I like Natalie Portman, and I'm really looking forward to how her story plays out in Thor Love and Thunder. Valkyrie. There's Christian Bale as Gore. Oh, I think he's going to knock it out of the park. I think he's going to be a villain that we'll be talking about for a long time. Josh Brolin interviews himself for Variety's Actors on Actors. Really? That'll be interesting to watch. The trailer for Boo Bitch, starring Lana Condor, has been released for Netflix. Okay. Looks like a coming-of-age story. Don't know anything about that. Anne Hathaway. Jessica Chastain for Gucci. God, she takes a stunning photo. Yes, I do like Jessica Chastain. She is one of my favorite actresses. Phenomenal beauty. Yes, I got a thing for redheads, I suppose. Happy birthday to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Kick-ass himself. Happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday to Chris Evans. It's Chris Evans' birthday. Talking about Knives Out, I see it trending here on the side. Did a Knives Out 2 trailer get dropped? Rian Johnson reveals Knives Out 2 title. Really? Let's see what this is about. Check it out. Called Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Glass Onion. A Knives Out mystery. Huh. So, well, we heard a while ago that it wasn't going to be called Knives Out 2. But the cast for it is phenomenal. You've got Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick. Great for blocking me there, you morons. Madeline Klein, Kate Hudson, and Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista working with Rian Johnson. That's a good mix. And I really liked... I was late to the party for Knives Out. I didn't watch it until it came out on streaming. And then that's when I watched it. But it was a good movie. And I expect that Knives Out... Well, I'm expecting that Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, is just going to be as good too. Star Wars Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni announced new TV series called Skeleton Crew. Yeah, I saw the Skeleton Crew artwork for that too. Knives Out is trending #1 murder mystery thriller. Yeah, because Chris Evans was in Knives Out. Sorry, I got it. Jennifer Hudson has achieved EGOT status. So that's when you get an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Yeah, because the Tony Awards were last night, right? And the Emmys are coming up soon. So Jennifer Hudson is a talented person. Her vocals are amazing. Behind the scenes with the cast of Top Gun Maverick. So they just released some... of them working out. Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere of February 2023. Cool. Says Christopher in the live chat. Taylor Swift said she'd love to write and direct her own feature film. Cool. I don't see it being bigger in terms of scale. I loved making a film that was so intimate with a group that was really small and really solid group of people that I trusted. Yeah, she can. She was just out on doing something. She did a small short, and I saw these photos of her walking out and about. Taylor Swift, yeah, she made that short movie. If she made like a small movie, a small contained movie within limited settings, get a small crew in there with people that she trusts, again, with the actors. Hopefully, like no actors that'll give her grief or anything like that. She can handle it. She directs her own music videos, guys. So, I mean, come on. She's good behind the camera. And I think she could tell a good movie. So I'll keep my eye out for that because I want to... If you don't know, she's somebody that I idolize on the business sense of stuff, especially the way that she's handled her music with re-recording and then taking it away from that butthead that just... Yeah. So Taylor Swift making a movie, that's cool to me. I'll keep my eye out for that. Hopefully she does do something small to get her feet wet. She doesn't have to jump right up into the big studio productions that have headaches with people and all that stuff, with executives handing down notes every day. Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway on the set of Mother's Instinct. So she's going to be blonde in this one. Looks like a period piece of some kind. I have to keep my eye out for that. Taylor Swift, Sadie Sink, and Dylan O'Brien at the Tribeca Film Festival. Cool. Oh, that's what she was out for. That's where she was wearing that suit for. Because I saw the photos of her wearing that get up, but I didn't know what it was for. We have teamed up with More Butter TV for Dune giveaway. What? Steven Spielberg's E.T. was released 40 years ago. That's something that they should remake, though. I don't know if they should make a sequel for it, but they should make a reboot because some of the animatronics don't hold up. And that's just due to the visual effects constraints they had at the time. When you watch these things on the big screen now, or if you watch it in 4K, some of the movies from the 80s just don't hold up. And you can tell that it's a stunt man there. You can tell that you can see where the wires are in some shots, and it's kind of like, whew, Yeah, that doesn't hold up to 4K scrutiny. But I think that E.T., if they remade it, perhaps, that's the way I would go. Not more, or if they did a sequel, maybe Henry Thomas could come back and it'll be about his kids. To see Jurassic World Dominion is expected to debut. Yeah, okay, so that's old. That's 2 days ago. So yeah, everybody's out with their Jurassic World news, guys. Anyway, guys, I can't believe that we've been going for an hour here. Let's take a look at some of these headlines that you guys wanted me to look at. Mandalorian Season 4. May 3rd. Let's take a look at tools. Anytime, let's see, over the past week. Season 4 confirming to Cineblend 4 days ago. Yeah. Well, I thought they announced that Mandalorian was going to be 5 seasons. But darker, yeah. And we've seen the headlines that Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be a bit darker. Yeah. That's good news. But yeah, Season 4, I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. It's their cash cow right now. Because even in Book of Boba Fett, when you saw Mando, it was kind of like those were the highlight episodes for Book of Boba Fett. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Knives Out 3 movie. Yeah. We know that for the Knives Out story, we know that Netflix had signed that deal for Knives Out 2 and 3 back to back. They pay like something astronomical, like what was it, 200 million plus or something, a ridiculous amount. So a lot of people are going to get paydays for Knives Out sequels. But I like Daniel Craig in that role, and I think he's going to nail it. I think, I can't wait for that one. Star Wars was the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere. Mandalorian, yeah, well, we know that. Season 3 release date. I think I already searched this, yeah. We'll be back February 23rd. And I follow Star Wars leaks on Reddit, so we do get, if it's going to get leaked anywhere there, I follow that. Maybe I'll pull that up here and we'll take a look at my old Reddit page and see if we can look at any Star Wars leaks that perhaps, well, maybe it may spoil some things for Obi-Wan, but we'll take it with a grain of salt. Composer Natalie Holt is asked about quoting John Williams themes in Obi-Wan. I'll watch that. Taika Waititi is still writing and storylining his Star Wars movie. And that's supposed to come out next year. Do you guys really believe that the Taika Waititi Star Wars is going to come out next year? I don't think so. New Shadow of the Sith excerpt exceeding Ochi of Bestoon. So a new Sith book is coming out. Don't speak to me or my son ever again. I don't know what that is. Rupert Friend on being on Star Wars because he was the Grand Inquisitor, right? What's this? Behind the scenes footage of clone troopers and Jedi in the opening shot of Obi-Wan. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy says Star Wars storytelling is influenced by video games. Pedro Pascal reflects on Mandalorian Precious reunion with Grogu and their new dynamic in Season 3. Yeah. Well, we know that Grogu is back with him now. Apparently, he's going to be wearing some kind of a mech bodysuit or something like that. It's weird. We'll be keeping our eye out for that. I don't see anything big trending. Screenshots from Obi-Wan Season 4, or Episode 4. I don't see why that has to be spoiler. We watched the entire episode, guys. Okay, yeah, so this shows us some of the Jedi that were... That's good. I want to see if they show us there that Luminara There's a youngling. No, they don't show Luminara. They didn't screen capture her. But yeah, I like this episode. I like the base there. And of course, we know that that's Hayden Christensen in the suit. Reva, yeah, she's starting to fall off the radar for me. I hope her storyline ends in the next episode and is all about Anakin and Obi-Wan. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's good. We can see the. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we can see the artwork for the things that are coming out, and I do think it has that Skeleton Crew one there. Yeah, right here on the side. I'm after Obi-Wan. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka, and then I'm looking forward to the Acolyte, which is like a female Sith story about a female, or at least a female dark side user. So that one I'll be looking forward to. The Untitled Feige Project. And the Taika Waititi Project. So they haven't announced what those are. But, yeah. Guys, that's pretty much the way that it's been in the realm of movie and entertainment news for today. We've gone a little bit long, but that's okay. It's Monday. There was a lot of big headlines. It's a 24-hour news cycle. If I miss something, it'll be on tomorrow's show. And if it's huge trailer that drops, then it'll be up on the channel as soon as I can get it out there, guys. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more movie and entertainment news here on Mirror Domains.